Okay, so let's sketch this graph. It takes her 5 minutes to travel 1 block. Let's set that up as an x and a y value. The x is time, the y is number of blocks. So we're going to graph the point 5 comma, Mason talking 1. 5 comma 1, because the x value is time. We're going 5 minutes. We're going 1 block. That's the y value. Make that point on your graph. Run before you jump, over 5 up 1. And the second dot I want you to put is 0, 0. Just plot the origin. The origin is at 0, 0 always. Connect those dots. And you've just graphed a proportional relationship because they're going the same exact amount of time. We can use this graph to represent it. We are going to make sure 2 things happen. For it to be proportional, you have to have the line going through the origin, which is at 0.00. The rate of change is always equal to the constant. And the equation for a proportional relationship is always going to be y equals kx. Notice one thing about this from 8th grade, Logan talking 1. What's the y-intercept for a proportional relationship? What is the y-intercept of this graph? Talk to your partner 10 seconds. Go. If I give you a proportional graph, what's the y-intercept going to be? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Max, what's the y-intercept going to be?
0.
It's always 0. And notice the equation I just made. There is no y-intercept attached to it. There's no number. It's because it's always 0. So you do not need to have any y-intercept when you're graphing proportions. All you need is this slope. And let's graph the slope. You're used to doing this as rise over run. We can go up and over. And my slope for this one in 7th grade, I'm just going to call k. The slope language isn't used in 7th grade, weirdly. It's called the constant in 7th. So get that kind of in your brain. What would the slope be? Rise over run or y over x? How much did we rise? How much did we run, Hadley? Up and over how many?
5.
Up how many?
1 and then 5.
Okay. So my constant is 1/5. This is the slope. This is also the constant. They're the same things. We just use different words in 7th grade for some reason. I don't know why. It's kind of confusing, and if I were to create math all over again, I would just call slope the slope starting in 7th grade. But they don't. Cool. So those are the 3 main things that you need to know launching in. You need to know that it passes 0, 0, it has a constant, and this equation is what we're going to work with all day today. Example 1, read it for me, Finn. Find the constant.
Find the constant of proportionality.
Pause. What's the constant of proportionality also called? Whole class? In your mind, you're thinking k, and if I'm an 8th grade student, I'm thinking Justice, the slope. So when I hear constant of proportionality, I think k and I think slope. I think k and I also think slope. Constant is the same thing as a slope. Keep going, Finn, using the value.
Using the value of k, enter an equation in the form of y equals
Mason,
k
2.
that represents the proportional relationship.
Okay, start at 0, 0 for this graph. Make a point here. This point is called the what, Kim? This is called the origin, and because it passes the origin, I say this thing is proportional. Let's choose another point that it crosses. What point do you see that I can use, Avery? What is it? We could use a couple.
Okay, I was thinking -2, -8.
Yeah, you could use -2, -8. You could also use a couple others, but let's just launch off with this one. Start at the origin, go left -2, go down -8. For the constant, I always put rise over run, y over x. How much did you go down, starting with the y value? Colton?
-8.
Okay. How much did I go to the left? Keep going.
-2.
-2. So let's set this thing up as -2 over -8. Can I simplify that at all? Daniel? Could I simplify -2 over -8? Yeah, it's a positive because both are negative, same good, different bad. Justice?
Switch it around, the x is supposed
Yeah, I thought the x was supposed to be on the bottom.
Thanks, that's a blunder. I did x over y should be over x. -8 over -2. Now what is it, Daniel? 4 over 1. Or just a 4. Yeah, what's a possibly easier point to graph, Daniel? You could do -1 and -4. What's another easier point that I could graph, Hadley?
Up 4/1.
Yeah, you could also do this guy and say 4 and 1 is the rise over the run. 4 over 1 is just 4. Either way will work. Your constant is 4, so watch what I do. To create an equation, this is the whole point of this graphing. I want to put the constant into your equation. Put your constant next to the x. Your equation for a proportional relationship is y equals 4x. Circle it. That's your final answer. What's the y-intercept of this equation? Page? It's 0. We don't have the y-intercept number to the right. That's because it crosses the origin. B, read it for me. There's a slight difference. See if you can catch it, Mason.
On the constant of proportionality, using the value of r, enter an equation in the form of y equals rx that represents the proportional relationship.
What's slightly different from A and B on this one? Chad?
Instead of k for proportionality, it's r.
I'm going to be completely honest. I have no idea why they change it. The CAST problems, though, will change it on you. They'll call the constant k one problem, and then they'll call it r the next. I have no idea why. Just use them as the same. K is constant. R is also constant. Let's see if we can find it. What is the constant of proportionality for this graph? Put a point at 0, 0. Put a point at the next spot that you see it cross. Do y over x. Constant will be. What's my rise for this problem, Raiden?
1.
And what's the run?
1.
Okay. And this thing crosses the origin, so my constant is just 20. What is the equation for this graph? Corbin?
Y equals 40x.
Beautiful. What's my y-intercept of this one, Mara? It crosses the origin. Because it's proportional, it would be 0. That is it. You try this one in the next 30 seconds. Find the constant of proportionality. Go. Then put an equation form. And raise your hand if you have the answer for you, try. Give me the equation, Kim, you got it?
Y equals 1/6x.
If you got it, give yourself 2 snaps, go. If you did not, fix it. If I put y equals 6x, what's my blunder? Similar to what I did for A. What did I do wrong, Lauren?
You didn't
Instead of y over x, I probably put x over y, which is incorrect for the constant. Don't do that. Oh, what? 2 examples? Oh, yeah. All right, example 2, same language. Read it for me, Daniel, track the boards. And Nora, what am I doing for example 2?
Find the constant of proportionality r using the value of r entered in the equation in the form of y equals rx that represents the proportionality relation.
Put a point at 0, 0. What point do you want me to use next, Max? Track the board. Logan, what point do you want me to use for my second?
I'll go up 20 over 1, or over 2.
Good. Why is it over 2 this time and not just over 1?
These are going by 2.
Yeah, they're counting 2, 4, 6, 8. Don't get tricked by that. Let's set it up. Y over x. 20 is y. 2 is x. For this one, is my constant 20 over 2? No. If you get a constant that's not simplified, I have to simplify it, Corbin. What would it simplify to?
10.
Which would be 10. If you get a constant, because you set up the numbers a bit different, just like we did for the -8 over -2, we want to simplify it. Your equation is y equals 10x. If you put 20 over 2x, you're technically not wrong, but your constant's just one step away. Mara? Question? Okay. Colton, question?
No.
Okay. Last example. This time we're going to dive slightly more into the reasoning behind like what it's telling us in the graph. Can you read this for me, Sierra? The graph shows.
The graph shows a linear relationship between commission earned by a salesperson and number of sales made.
Find the constant proportionality R. Using the R, enter the equation C equals RS that represents the relationship that the commission earned and the number of sales S. For this problem, there's another change to it. What is the difference? Looking at specifically these 2 points. Talk to your partner for 10 seconds. What's different about it? Five, four, three, two, 1. Mason, what'd they switch on us?
They made the variable c and s instead.
If it helps you, go ahead and go to the equation and just set it up as y equals s then x or r then x. Why did I put an s? That is incorrect. You can use this to kind of see which one's the y, which one's the x. If c is on the left, that's going to be the y value. Cool. Okay. From here, go from the origin to your first point. And let's do y over x. What point do you want to use for the y for this one, Tessa? Let's go rise then run from 0, 0. How much should I go up?
Just go up to 8 and then over 1.
Okay. What's my constant of proportionality for this, Finn? Daniel talking. I think that's your second. Finn, what's my constant for this? It is 8. Your equation for this problem is not y equals 8x. What do I have to place it as for the answer? If I put this, I'm going to get probably 2 out of 5 on a test. What do I need to pay attention to and fix? Daniel?
Oh my god, isn't it C?
Equals.
Yeah. C equals 8.
Because they changed the variables on you, you have to put the variables that they would like. What does this actually mean? If I make one sale, if S equals 1, what is that C gonna mean? Silent hands. What does it actually mean if I make one sale, Max?
$8.
Tell me more. What's $8? I earn $8 earned. You can use this to find out all sorts of numbers. If I make 10 sales, how much money do I make? If the S is 10, how much money do I make?
10. 100.
10 times 8 is 80.
I thought you said that the
You could do 100 sales, and that'd be 100 times 8, that's 800. Proportional relationships are pretty easy because you just plug it in and multiply it to find that next one. Here is our big idea for today that we're going to take into 7th grade and kind of throw the y equals mx plus b and proportional relation or the linear equation stuff to the side for now. You need to have proportional relationships in this form always. If it is not in this form, it is immediately not proportional. K for this one, or sometimes R, is going to be your constant, or what you think of as slope. And I can now look at these possibilities, and you're going to find the one that is not proportional. Which of these is not like the other? If you see it, give me a thumb up and circle it. And chat with your partner for 15 to see if you have the same one.
Can you circle two?
No, there's only one. There's only one. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. What's my answer? Don't get tricked. It does look like there could be two answers, but in the end there is one. Hadley, what'd you get?
I got B.
Which one?
Not B. I got D. Oh my gosh, I can't speak.
D is correct. This one's not proportional. And what's making it not proportional? Finn? And what is that doing to my graph? If I were to graph y equals 2x plus 6, where would it cross on the y-intercept, Chad?
It would make it start at 6.
Yeah, and because it's not at the origin, I know this thing is absolutely not proportional. C looks kind of funky, but why is this thing proportional? It's just backwards. You could rewrite this as y equals 10x, and it would still work. Boop, boop, boop. Next page. You guys are going to cruise through 1 through